I want to talk about on this quick video, guys. I want to talk about what do you do if you hate your job, right? If you don't like your job, I want you to watch this video, right? If you sort of don't like your job, check out this video. If you kind of like your job, but not really like your job, I want you to watch this video, right? Because I don't want you to quit your job just yet. I want you to think about a few things that I'm going to give you on this video before you quit, before you leave it, before you say I'm done, before you throw in the towel. I just want to give you some things to think about. Now, why is this good? It's a Sunday today, right? Tomorrow is the first day of the work week. And it's a perfect day today on a Sunday before we get going on a Monday to have a discussion about jobs, right? What do you do when you hate your job and it's Sunday afternoon? What do you do when you hate your job and it's Sunday evening? Studies show, many studies show, like I could name a few of them, but I won't, but many studies show that Mondays are the day of the week where more heart attacks happen, right? And it's usually, I think I read several studies that said between 4 a.m. and 11 a.m. on a Monday morning is when most heart attacks happen. Now, why is that? I don't know. I can't tell you exactly why that is, but it could be because it's the first day back to the work week and people have a lot of stress and anxiety and just a lot of emotions wrapped up in their jobs. A lot of people hurt over their job. So this is all about what you can do if that's you. What you can do if you don't like your job, you don't like the people at your job, you don't like the environment at your job, the job has toxicity all over the place. What do? You don't quit just yet. Not yet, right? You could leave your job because we all know that, life is too short to be sitting in a chair in a job or something that you don't like and you hate for 8 or 9 or 10 hours a day for 30 years, right? But you have to have a plan. Okay. You can't just quit. You need to have some strategy. A lot of times you hate a job and you quit the job because you feel like, oh, you know what? I'm tired of this job. I'm sick. And just out of emotion, you quit. I'm telling you, if you don't like your job, the job is causing you stress, pain, anxiety, you want to leave the job, but just leave the job strategically, right? Have a plan. And I wrote a few things down so I could read them, but I'm also seeing you guys' chat right here as well. So thank you for being here. Thank you for checking in. When you come in, hit the like button for me. But I had a lot of jobs in my life, guys. Let me just explain this to you real brief. I had a bunch of jobs, right? I mean, I've been everything from a school teacher to a waiter to working at a dog track where the dogs race, greyhound races, to working at Kentucky Fried Chicken. I worked at Wendy's. I was a tutor. I have worked at U-Haul, cleaning out the back of the trucks. I have worked at Jiffy Lube, right? Changing oil in the lower bay, upper bay, whatever it may be. Did that for a couple of years, enjoyed that. I sold shoes as a salesman for over a year. I worked at Circuit City as a commissioned salesperson on the floor. I've worked at Eddie Bauer. I worked for the federal government. I worked in a campus, campus bookstore over a summer at a community college. I've had a ton of jobs, Home Depot, flooring department. So I've been on a lot of different jobs in my life. So I kind of feel and understand the frustration. Matter of fact, a job I had about 10 years ago, I was working for probably the worst supervisor in the history of supervisors. They were an incredible micromanager. They would treat everybody below them like garbage and everybody above them like kings and queens, right? and so we were peasants, but this supervisor was rude, disrespectful, untrustworthy, mean-spirited. Look, ask your opinion about something and just shoot you down, right? Hey, what do you think about it? And then go and then rail into you in public, in front of everybody, right? But the thing about that supervisor and that job, and that was one that was causing me a little frustration, was that they taught me a lot about what not to do. in leadership. So I did leave that job, but I left and I learned a lot and I had a strategy, right? But I learned what not to do when dealing with people, treating people, right? But I had a plan when I left or how to leave to get out of there. So I'm saying if you don't like your job, first develop a plan to get out of there if there's something you don't like about it, right? But on your way, while you're there, sticking it out, make sure you learn. Don't just quit out of emotion and frustration. Try to learn something while you're there. You got to realize that everything you going through in a job, it's only for a season of time, right? It's only for right now. So sometimes we get so emotional that we think, oh my gosh, it's always going to be like that. I'm sick. And we get wrapped up in that, not taking a step back and a deep breath and just saying, okay, this is what's happening right now. Let me see how I can sort of plan my escape, right? How can I get out of this thing? But I want to do it in a way where I don't just leave myself high and dry with nothing. Maybe you like the people you work around and you just don't like the supervisor. I don't know. But I left that job because I hated the job. It wasn't really the job, it was the supervisor, right? And they made it miserable. But I learned what not to do as a leader. And I don't look at that job as a waste because it paid the bills and I learned something from it, right? So don't quit yet until you have a plan, right? Maybe that's what you're facing right now. I don't know what you're facing. Maybe you like your job. Do me a favor, guys. Drop me a comment in the chat and let me know what you think about your current job. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Are you just tolerating it? Are you planning your escape? Are you just totally frustrated? Let me know in the comments below. And I'm going to see if I can go back to your comments on here and see what you guys are typing in. So give me just a second here. I'm going to try to bring it up if I can bring it up. Hopefully I can bring it up. But I want to dig a little bit deeper, guys. I want to go a little deeper into some things that you can do if you are at that point where you're ready to quit and you're sick of the job. You're tired of it. It's getting on your nerve. You cannot stand it. You don't like the supervisor. You don't like the people. You don't like the job itself. You're just ready to get up out of there, right? And some people are in that situation. I understand it. Totally understand it. Let's see. Make YouTube, boom, boom, boom. I was an electronic technician, now an investor. Thumbs up to you. I got terminated from my last job, unsatisfactory performance, and then laughed about it. I love my current job at YouTube. Congratulations to you for loving your current job. Hey, from London's checking in. Tulsa, Oklahoma's here as well. So looks like I might be freezing. No, I don't know if I'm freezing. I think we're good. I've been working very hard for a very long time. Okay, I get it. I get it. I totally get it. I really do get it. But let me know if you hate your job down there in the chat. Let me give you a few things that you can think about doing, guys. Okay, first thing, if you're on a job you hate, you don't like your job, don't quit yet. You're making a plan. You got to change the way you think, right? I talk about changing the way you think about money all the time, but changing how you think and your mindset and your approach and your attitude, it works in all areas of life, right? And one of the places that it really works well is when you have a job that you don't like. When I had the job 10, 12 years ago, whatever I said, when I had that job, I had to first kind of just rearrange my thinking so the job wouldn't like beat me up, right? I said, let me just look at this as a learning opportunity. It's only going to be brief. I'm going to have another job pretty soon. So I kind of changed my attitude, right? I also took it as sort of a challenge. Okay, boom, I'm faced with that. How can I get over that? Boom. Now how can I get over that? Boom. So it's like I purposely allow my mind to sort of play tricks with me, right? I hate the job, but I didn't tell myself I hate the job. I said, okay, I may not like the job, but guess what? I'm learning. So it's like a little mind. This is something you do to cope with it, right? So I looked at it as a challenge, as sort of a roadblock, a bump in the road in my mind, right? So once you change your mind about it, the other thing is this. Let me say this. You don't have to let everybody on your job see you sweat. You don't have to let everybody on the job see you emotional, right? disheveled, distraught, angry, upset, mad, right? Frustrated. You don't, okay, and I know some of you may have already already done this on your job, but try to keep your cool on the job. Try not to be too emotional on the job, right? That may be what they want you to do, right? They may want to see you do that. Listen, there's some supervisors and jobs out there that want to see you quit, or they want you to help them make their decision easier. Oh, okay, we were thinking about getting rid of this person. Oh, but they blew up and went off and were insubordinate. Okay, let's fire them. Boom. You can make their job easier if you're too overly emotional. I'm trying to give you a way to look at your job to be strategic, right? And, look, it's your job. It's not your life, right? Think of your job as just a job. I'm okay with people having a job. I'm not one of those guys that get on YouTube and say, having a job is stupid and you should never have a job. You should always be an entrepreneur. I'm not saying that at all. Having a job is okay. Nothing wrong with having a job. I want you to have a job. It's okay. But just don't let the job have you. That's the kicker. Don't let the job have you emotionally, mentally, tied all up, crying, mad, angry. They see you sweat. When they see you coming in the door, they know there's an attitude. You don't want to do that, right? Don't let the job consume you, engross you, and really destroy you, right? This is really important. It's a change in the attitude, okay? Because you're more than your job. You have to realize that. Some people tie their self-esteem to their job, self-esteem to the promotion, self-esteem to the bonus, self-esteem to the salary, self-esteem to how the supervisor treats them. Look, you're more than your job. You are valuable beyond your job, okay? And I mean, these are people that do this are not just people who are flipping burgers at McDonald's. I'm talking about corporate people who are at the top. They do the same. They tie themselves to the job. I'm telling you, change the way you look at your job. And it may be your career, right? And it may be your career. But now, your career and your job are two different things. Your career is sort of what you do and have done for many years. Your job is just where you work, where you're employed. Don't get your life wrapped up in your job, right? Look at it as a job, not as your life. Keep the job in perspective. Change your mind frame. They don't have to see, you don't have to get angry. Getting angry is a choice. Getting mad is a choice. Having a bad attitude is a choice. Going off on somebody, that's a choice. You don't have to do any of that, right? Just because you don't like your job. There's people that don't like their job, but you would never know it. That's what you should consider doing. In other words, don't take everything that happens at the job so personally. Remember, don't quit yet, right? Because you're coming up with a strategy and a plan to exit appropriately. But don't take everything that happens so personal. You have to separate your emotions from the job, right? Look at it different. A new approach, right? If you don't get the raise, if you don't get the bonus or the promotion, if you don't get the 5 out of 5 on the rating instead of the 3 out of the 5, right? Don't take it so hard. Don't take it so personal. It may be personal. It may be mean. It may be wrong. Listen, it very well could be unfair. Could be all that. But sort of change the way you think about it. If you change the way you think about it and you strategize, there could be some other ways to go about it. And I'm not saying don't speak up for yourself. Let me make that clear. You always want to speak up, and there's nothing wrong with saying, but you got to know when to speak, how to speak, who to speak to, and sometimes you don't need to speak. Sometimes the best thing to do is not say anything. right? But I'm just giving you these different ways to think so so you can approach jobs differently that you don't like, right? Let's see. So let me say, by the way, let me just say this. It may not mean that they don't like you if you don't get the bonus or you don't get the promotion. Listen, if you don't get the 5 out of 5 on your rating, it could mean they gave out too many 4s and 5s last year, and this year their supervisor told your supervisor to not give out so many 5s this year, 4s this year. So now your supervisor comes back down, gives you a 3, and then justifies it, but really you probably earned a 4 or 5. You get what I'm saying? I'm saying there's more to it than what you may think. It could just mean they don't think you're the right fit for the promotion, right? It could mean they just don't like you, period. Now, guess what? That doesn't mean you're a bad person, right? Doesn't mean you're a horrible worker. It could just mean they don't like you, or it could just mean it's not your time yet, right? I'm trying to give you a different way of thinking about this thing, right? To say you don't have to take it personal all the time at your job. Your time is coming. You'll be a supervisor one day, right? You'll have other employees working for you one day. And when that happens, I'm going to be honest with you. Listen, when you're a supervisor on a job, it's not easy, right? That's not really the cush job that a lot of people think it is, right? Because one of the hardest things you ever do in life is work with people, right? That's one of the it's easy to move widgets, right? To put together pieces of parts on an assembly line. That's easy. Dealing with attitudes and people, that's very, very, very hard. It's difficult. And sometimes we fail to put ourselves in that supervisor's foot or in their shoes, right? But it could just be unfair, right? Use it as a learning opportunity. Get your feelings out of it. Don't take it so personal. You're strategizing. You're trying to make a plan. You're trying to, okay, go ahead and smile. No big deal. Go ahead and have a good attitude. No big deal. Just have that type of demeanor, right? Something a little different, right? You got to be looking. Listen, the other thing is this. You also want to be looking for another job if you're at your wit's end, right? Let me submit this to you. I don't know why I clap. It's kind of fun to clap. But I believe that most of us should be keeping our resume on point, keeping our skills on point, keeping our certifications, our education, all those things on point. I think that for most people, not everybody, right? Depends on where you are in your career and so forth. But most people should probably every 6 months or so test the waters, right? See if our skills are being paid higher somewhere else, right? Is there a better position for us somewhere else, right? Just check every 6 months or so, especially if you don't like your job, you don't like your supervisor, something's going wrong, right? You need to be checking and keeping everything up to date. So in case that's part of your exit strategy is to see what else is out there on a regular basis. Now, if you like your job, you may not need to do this, right? But for a lot of people, it's the key. It's part of the plan. If you don't like your job, right? If you don't want to go into your job for some reason, if you hate your job, you got to do something about it. You can't complain about it all the time and have a bad attitude. Have a great attitude, right? Smile in the face, and then be working on your extra strategy in the back. Let me go to this chat real quick because I kind of been ignoring the chat a little bit. I shouldn't be ignoring it, right? Hey, how you doing? Arizul's true. Hey, how you doing? Boom, boom, boom. Always work towards the company bottom line. No doubt. Nothing wrong with that at all. Politics has been the primary issue in my work career, said somebody. And you guys are just kind of floating amongst each other. So that's good. Excellent. Okay. Cool. I'll let you chat. No big deal. Okay. Uh, all right. Boom. So, okay, I'm just reading a couple of them. But let me just kind of give you some more things to think about. So, now I like my job. Let me see this. Somebody said something in the chat. I like my job. All right. I have a job and I like my job. I've been in many jobs, like I said earlier, and I understand the different environments and so forth. And I know it can be absolutely terrible for some people at a job. And it can make your stomach hurt. It can make you stress. It can make you anxious. It can add a lot of stress to your life, right? It can make you want to yell, scream, curse somebody out, right? Been there, done that. So for me, I like my job, and I'm at the end of my career as well, but I like the people I work with. But, if you have to leave, you have to leave, but change your mindset and don't take it all so serious. Don't get all emotional. Be sure that part of your plan is looking for another job, keeping your resume and your skills tight. Listen, today is Sunday. Tomorrow, between 4 a.m. and 10 a.m. on Monday morning is when most heart attacks happen. Several studies that I read said that, right? And I think it could be because of stress related to going back into a job, a work environment that a lot of people don't like, right? And when you look at different surveys, 50% of people say they don't like their job in America, right? I mean, something else you can do. You can pray on it. You can meditate on it. You can take a deep breath, engage in some serious self-talk. So that when you walk in there, you're telling yourself something, right? Pepping yourself up, whatever it could be. So here's the deal. If you don't like your job, don't quit yet. Assess the situation. Identify any areas that you think you can get better at. It could be your attitude, but you got to sit and take a serious look at your approach, right? And then here's the other thing. When you're looking at that, evaluate your role, right? Because sometimes we overreacted at work, right? We overreact to things that are going on all around us, and we don't know if it's personal, if it's not personal. We don't know if they're just trying to do that to get at me, not try to get at me. We don't know what's going on with their life, right? So a lot of times we got to look at what role we may have and how we can change our attitude, right? Internal solutions, right? Are you communicating, right? But you also got to make sure that on the way, you're continuing to work your strategy to exit. If you want to exit, build your skills, work on your resume. And you got to do this. You got to, like I said, you got to have some work-life balance, right? Have a little bit of self-care, but at the same time, be understanding that, hey, this is just a job. It's not my life, right? Maybe you need a hobby. Sometimes a good hobby that you can shut down at 4 p.m., shut down at 5 p.m. and go do something you really, really enjoy doing. Sometimes that needs to be part of your strategy, right? And be actively looking for another job, a better opportunity, a different opportunity. Sometimes to get out of a bad situation at work, you need to maybe take a step back to at some point take a step forward, right? It's a lot of things to think about. Exit strategy, career goals, right? Maybe set yourself up where you have more opportunities by getting more education or by getting more certifications or by getting more classes, whatever it takes. Maybe you just need a mentor, somebody to talk to, somebody to communicate with, somebody to run your idea, somebody who needs to look you in the eye and say, listen, this is going on at work. I totally understand it. But hey, here's what you need to do different. Here's what you need to change. See, a lot of people don't have that. They have people they go and complain about their job to who won't tell them, what are you doing different? Okay, what was your attitude? Okay, why did you curse them out instead of just walking away? Why did you just, right? So sometimes you need that type of mentor, not just a friend who's going to corroborate, that may be the wrong word, somebody who's going to agree with everything you say about your job. Every negative thing you say, yeah, I know what you're saying. Yep, I know. Yeah, girl, or whatever, right? You have somebody who's just agreeing with everything you say because they like you, but they're not telling you, look, you need to do this, A, B, C, D, so you ain't got to put up with it no more. Or you need to change your attitude about X, Y, Z because you shouldn't have boom, 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 right? I know it's hard for a lot of people to start looking internally when we get, and this is why I tell you, you got to kind of break your emotions off from your job, because when you get emotional, what happens is you don't think as rational as you probably should when it comes to your job, right? But maybe you need a career coach, a mentor, somebody who can give you things from a different perspective, right? Maybe you need some therapy. I don't know, right? Sometimes a job can push you to need therapy, right? I totally understand that. I don't want to dismiss that at all, because that does happen, right? Evaluate your decisions. Make sure you create more opportunities for yourself, more choices for yourself, and take some action, right? Commit to taking some action. In the whole process, right? If you hate your job, in the whole process, do yourself and your mental health and your physical health a big favor and stay positive. Do yourself and your mental health and your physical health a big favor by staying positive. Having, whether or not you're positive or negative is a choice, right? It's a choice to be optimistic. It's a choice to tell yourself and understand that this is only a small season of your life of things going wrong, of a job going wrong, of a job you don't like. Tell yourself that in 6 months, I'll be at a whole different job doing something totally different in another place, right? Focus on the positive as much as possible, right? Be patient. It'll happen. You also have to make a part-time job out of strategizing how to get out of the job. In other words, you worked a job 9 to 5, then 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. you're working on your resume. You're putting in applications or setting up or networking, whatever it takes for you to get out of the job. You're doing that, or you're doing it from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. or 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Anytime you get away from the job, you need to be putting in work on how to get out of the job, right? If you hate your job, I don't want you sticking around in a job you absolutely hate and don't like, right? It's going to make you miserable. And again, maybe you just can tolerate your job. You don't really dislike it, but maybe you need a side hustle. Maybe you need an extra hobby. Maybe you got to start playing some golf, taking some dance lessons, doing something, singing, playing an instrument, take up some piano, learn to speak Chinese, whatever it could be. You need a hobby to do something. So your whole world is not wrapped into the job. We all know people like this, right? They go to sleep dreaming about the job. They carry the job home, and from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, they're working on the job. It's easy to get yourself emotionally into something when that's what you do and that's all you know. I'm saying you need to step back. Work-life balance is a good thing. Leaving a job needs to be strategic, right? And you have to ensure that you have opportunities lined up before you make some emotional, irrational decision, right? I know it can be frustrating. I know it can be hard, right? But these are the types of things that you got to think about before you hit that job on Monday morning or whenever you go back, right? I'm just trying to give you some things to think about as a person who is interested in leaving your job. If you want to leave your job, it's totally up to you. Listen, guys, I am going to look at the chat. And of course, as always, we always got some idiots in the chat room, right? When we go mobile, when we go vertical, we always have a few that creep in here, but that's all right. Let's see here. Somebody said, no, it doesn't. No strategy involved. Sure, if you want to do it the right way, you can do it. You can fly off the handle and do it the wrong way, right? That's totally up to you. But I always say, grease the skids on your way out. On the way out of a job, grease the skids. What do I mean by grease the skids? I just mean don't burn bridges on your way out the job. It's not necessary. If you can get away from the emotional stuff, you can leave the job appropriately. Give them a 2-week notice, right? You leave the job on good terms. Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Leave the job like an adult, right? In a mature way, as opposed to knocking down everything off everybody's desk on your way out, right? Or taking your shirt off and throwing it in your supervisor's face, right? I know you want to do it. Been there, done that, right? I haven't done it, but I've been there and thought about it, right? But look, there's a mature way to leave, because you still got to treat people right. You still got to be kind to people. You still have to treat people the way you want to be treated, even though you may be mistreated, even though it may be unfair. Because you never know, you can turn around. This has happened to me. You can turn around in 10 years and be working with the person who caused you so much grief. Or you can turn around in 10 years and be needing something from the person who you had a terrible relationship with in the past. Grease the skids on the way out. You do that by stop being emotional, have a positive attitude, make a plan, and just think about it different. And then on the way out, it's like, hey, I appreciate it. All right, you guys take care. Okay, yeah, boom, 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 you're gone. That's the better way to do it, in my opinion. But I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong about everything I'm saying. But I've been there. I know what it's like. So, hey, I just wanted to come on here and rap to you guys about this, because it's Sunday. Monday is tomorrow. Many people don't want to go back to their work on Monday morning. They hate it. They don't want to be there. They're sick of it. They're tired of getting passed up for promotions, right? They're tired of the fact that I helped this person. I taught and trained this person, and now you guys are promoting this person over me when I wanted the job. Try to stay positive. It happens. But get your strategy. Get your plan together to do what you got to do to get out of there. Guys, I haven't said it. Hit this thumbs up button for me. Hit the thumbs up. Stop what you're doing. Hit that thumbs up button for me. Just tap it. Just tap it and say, you know what? I appreciate the information. I appreciate it. And then share the link to this with somebody else who you know, right? Let's see here. Let's get this person out of here. Another idiot who comes in. I like getting the idiots out of there, man. I need a moderator, right? But yeah, we got some idiots in here that it happens. Not a big deal. I'm not mad at them. It happens. So I like to remove them and report them at the same time. So it takes me a little minute to do that. Yeah, you got to leave maturely, somebody said. I appreciate that. Been there, done that, and would do it again. So some people are just like that. They just can't take their emotions and separate it from the job. But if you want to do it the right way, I'm trying to give you the right way to do it, because I've had a lot of jobs. I've had over 20-something jobs in my life, right? In the last 20 years, no, literally the last 30 years, I've had 1, 2, 3. I've worked at about 4 places on a professional level, right? 4 places on a professional level, but I've had 19, 20 other jobs throughout my life. Part-time here, part-time there, full-time when I was in college, etc. But I've had a lot of jobs, and I've seen a lot of people do it the wrong way. And I've made mistakes in terms of relationship building on jobs and getting too emotional. So I understand it, right? Never too emotional. I try to keep an even keel, right? Level head for the most part. But I understand it. I know the pain that a terrible supervisor or a bad environment can do to people. It can mess you up. It can literally make your stomach hurt. It can literally make your chest hurt. It can literally give you a headache, right? But I just submit to you on this video that if you think about it different, do things a little different, have a strategy, and realize that this is only for a season. It'll change. There'll be another day. In 6 months from now, you won't be there, right? Or 3 months from now, or a year from now, you'll be gone. Leave but leave under a strategy and leave the right way. And don't get your emotions so tied up into it. You're more than your job. You're bigger than your job. You're still a good person. You're still you're a great person, even if you didn't get the bonus, even if you didn't get the promotion and they gave it. They may just like them better. Don't trip, right? Don't tie your self-esteem to what they decide about a job or a promotion or a bonus, right? Hey, listen, I appreciate you being here. I just want to drop this quick message on you guys about tomorrow. Tomorrow's Monday. When you go back to work, think about what I said. Please smash the like button. Check out my partner on this, Mint Mobile. They're in the description box below. Great service. I use them. I'm a big fan of them for my premium wireless services. But check them out as well. And just hey, I hope you guys can take heed to what I said. If you have any questions, please drop it in the comment section, or you want to say something about whether or not you hate your job, love your job, let me know in the comment section below. I do try to read them and do try to get back with you on them. So, hey, the best person who's going to take care of the old you is the young you. Guys, do me a favor, take good care of yourself and take care of other people. Until the next video, peace.